Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're gonna do a little first impression slash overview of the Strider J2. Some of you may or may not be familiar. This is a brand new model from Mick Strider, production model of his knife company. So he does have two different elements of production, and he has a full customs line. I mean, when you compare the two, a lot of the other ones are there's a lot of handwork done, and then there's a lot of CNC machining. So, but I mean, you take Mick Strider's production line and compare it to other customs or things of that nature. A lot of people will do only CNC customs with, hand finished mechanics and things like that. This is damn near close to a custom knife. Moving on. First impressions of the knife. I unboxed it last night, Saturday, after I got home from work. I was really expecting, from what I saw on Instagram, just like a monstrous, crazy, ridiculous knife. I was expecting maybe like another inch, and I was expecting the handle to probably be another like half-inch thick girth-wise here. I'm not disappointed whatsoever. I'm actually delightfully surprised, which is always a good element when you unbox a knife. And the scales themselves too, wasn't expecting them to be as thin as they are. Unfortunately, I don't have a caliper, but if I had to guess, I'd say they're probably about like 0.16, 0.17 thick. And I was really expecting something to be, maybe 0.19, 0.23, 25, quarter inch, giant scales. I was really expecting something along the lines of that. And that doesn't mean that I'm any less impressed with this knife. I'm certainly impressed with it. And honestly, because it is just that little bit smaller, it's a lot more pocketable and it's a lot more manageable in my hands. I do have larger hands, guys. So I wear XL work gloves, and those fit me pretty well. So, you're gonna have to adjust your mindset on, your hand size, your body size. Is this manageable? Is it not manageable? For me, it's 100% manageable. And, I do have my preferences. I do like a slightly larger knife. I do like all size knives. So, for me, when I pick a knife, I want a knife that is going to be very well rounded. And a lot of what I go for in knives is the geometry, the artistic appeal, and of course the usability. To me, has to be like really spot on, where if I was caught in a situation that I needed to, whether it was not surviving for a week or surviving only for 10 minutes, I need a knife that's capable and going to get me through that situation. Now, I don't want to get too far into that, but, a knife like a bug out versus like a Strider PT, I'm picking the Strider PT 100% of the time. It's a full tie body, and the construction is super duper solid. If for some reason I needed to survive with this, I needed to wedge it in and bust something open, this knife's probably gonna survive with me, right? Whereas if I have a plastic scaled, thin spined knife constructed with an axis lock, I'm probably busting that thing wide open, and I'm pretty much done for if I need a knife after that. Enough of that. So we'll just move on after that. So my first impressions are, whoa, this thing is freaking cool. I mean, without a doubt, I am super duper happy to have this in my collection, and I am thoroughly impressed at the ergonomics of, some might say, this strange prehistoric kind of looking knife. It's really, really impressive to me. So glad to have it. And let's just jump into some size comparisons because I want to give you guys like a really thorough look at just how big this is. And we'll start with other Striders. We got a S&G. Got the PT, which I just had out for you. Okay, obviously much, much larger than the PT. SMF. These are very similar in size. You're looking at probably another 1/4 inch on the blade. Usable length of the blade. They're pretty similar in size on the overall blade. And then you're looking at about another 1/2 inch on the actual handle on these. All right, we'll do some larger knives now. The the Medford Fat Daddy. These knives are almost, I mean, they're not exact replicas of each other because this is much thicker and heavier. This knife weighs about 13 ounces. They're very, very similar knives. Have the Praetorian tie, which looks pretty small compared to this. The Praetorian tie, guys, is not like the biggest overall length knife. It's just very thick. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of people think of the Praetorian tie as being this ginormous knife, and it's really not. You have the ADV Alpha, and these two very, very similar as well. The Alpha's bigger in the blade and in the handle just slightly. Formax Scout, again, just slightly larger knife. They're pretty similar, but Formax just slightly bigger. Much heavier. The Formax is about 10 ounces. And we'll get into, this knife weighs 8.55 ounces, but I will show you on the scale. 80-10. So yeah, I mean, look, my opinion on how large this knife is, it doesn't have to be meaningless, but it's my opinion. I just don't think the knife is huge, like I was expecting. It's definitely a large knife, guys. So, you know I could be misinterpreted easily, but the knife is large. It's just not as large as I thought it was. Here you have the XM24, so larger than a 24. And then finally we'll do the 80-20. Once again, larger. So I just want to give you guys like a real comparison of what I think a large knife is, because I was a chef for a long time, so I carry this around all day. This is my small chef knife, and then this is my larger chef knife. I'm used to carrying this around with me. I was a chef for 18 years, so when I say a knife is large, I mean this is a big, large knife to me. And then I look at this, I'm like, all right, this is manageable. I can definitely fit this in my pocket. Obviously, two different styles of knives. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really accustomed just carrying around huge knives all day. So that's that. And we'll just get this quick little weight. I told you the weight of it already. I want you to see it. 8.55. You're looking at 13 ounces on a Fat Daddy. This one is even sculpted, so I think it weighs even less than a normal one. I think the normal one's closer to like a 14, 15 ounce knife. 12 ounce Praetorian tie. And then you have Formax Scout, 10 ounces. Which I think is pretty equivalent, dead on with the actual Formax, pretty close. And you look at SMF, 6 ounces, right? So And this knife is about a half inch smaller, about an inch less overall than the Jibble. That's what this is called, the Jibble 2. So you're looking at a really nice size knife. And, you know, to me, there's nothing better than getting a brand new Strider. There's just something about it. Somebody that's owned many different high quality American brands, I think there's just really something special about getting a brand new Strider. It just feels so crispy. It just has this texture. It's smooth, but it's almost like this micro orange peel feeling to the scales. And then you'll definitely have a period of breaking in the lock with it. I haven't experienced anything yet, but usually as the lock starts to transition further and further, you'll get a little bit of lock stick. But ultimately what you're going to do is that is actually, so this is carbonized, number one, and then secondly, as it slides over, that compresses back into it. You're not actually losing metal, so it's actually strengthening the lock over time, which is actually a really great feature. And if you look at the way that they do this, there's a pretty steep slope, which, I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed this knife is going to last your lifetime. I can't imagine the lock ever moving completely over due to that sharp point at the end. Cool features of this definitely are the flaming. It's flamed on the inside and on the outside. So I think that's a really nice touch. You got the tiger striping. This is the only version this knife is available in currently. I'm not sure if they'll come out with G10 versions or GG versions, which is the gunner grip version. This being gunner grip, if you're not familiar with that. The knife is full tie, okay? So most of McStrider's production knives are usually aluminum and tie or G10 and tie. So you're getting something a little extra, I think, with this. And I kind of like the uniformity of it. I mean, you got the striping here, you got the striping here. Stripe, 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 everything's striped. And then you have just beautiful satin hardware, which is really, really nice. I mean, ultimately, I'm pretty impressed with this. I didn't bring out my Jurassic, but if you guys look at a Jurassic, it has kind of that similar Jurassic flare at the end, and it's really comfortable, and it gives you a lot to choke up on here. This is like an extra large Jurassic kind of style handle, in my opinion. And you can choke back, you can choke up. You got a lot of working space here. You can work from the middle. You have a lot of different ways you can hold this knife, and I love it. That's my first impressions of it, guys. I plan on putting this knife to use. I plan on giving you a full entire review. And I always take my time on that, guys. I like to use my knives, and it's tough to tell you a full review of a knife over a week or a 2-week period. So be patient. The review will come. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. I do love the comments, guys. So if you have anything to say, you know, reach out to me, say something, and always follow me on Instagram. It's the same knife, killer_knives on Instagram. So check that out for daily content. Check my stories. If you're into, like, obviously if you're into knives, but I get pretty artsy on there and kind of strange, but it's an interesting part of your day if you want to make it part of your day. All right. Peace. Have a good one.